Silver Sable is definitely one of Marvel's most underappreciated badasses and deserves our attention. Absolutely, she may not wield Thor's hammer or swing through the city like Spider-Man, but this mercenary-turned-antihero is busy running her own nation, leading a squad of skilled soldiers, and making sure Marvel's morally ambiguous side stays thrillingly perilous. Born Silvija Sablinova, good luck saying that 5 times in a row, she's the no-nonsense ruler of Symkaria, a fictional Eastern European country that feels like it was made just to produce spies, soldiers, and a ton of political drama. It's pretty crazy how Silver blurs the line between being a hero and a villain. One minute she's teaming up with Spidey to save the day, the next she's on his tail because, well, a girl's gotta make a living. And let's be clear, she means serious business. As the leader of the Wild Pack, her own private army for hire, she focuses more on strategy and skill rather than superpowers. But don't get the wrong idea, she's not just a fancy henchman with neat toys. Nope, Silver's got layers to it. Her father was killed by Nazis, which would definitely have a drastic effect on anyone. She has a strong sense of justice, even if it's a bit unconventional, and a charisma that makes you root for her, even when she's not exactly the hero, which is the case most of the time. So in this marvelous video, let's dive in and shine a light on this silver-haired legend. Heads up, by the end of this video, you'll be her biggest fan. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Who is Silver Sable and how did she become a mercenary? Silver Sable's journey begins with tragedy and a whole lot of grit. After her mother was killed in a German terrorist attack, Silvija Sablinova decided to channel her grief into a mission, to take over the Wild Pack, the very organization her father established to track down Nazi war criminals. Symkaria, her homeland, had seen its fair share of woes under German rule during World War II, but Silver was adamant about continuing her father's work. After dedicating herself to becoming an expert in martial arts, shooting, and swordsmanship, she really turned into a daunting opponent. As the leader of the Wild Pack, she took on the risky job of hunting down Nazis who had slipped through the cracks of justice. As time went by and those targets became harder to find, the Wild Pack's goals shifted. Silver turned it into Silver Sable International, a high-stakes operation providing security, recovering stolen property, and capturing felons for governments and corporations globally. Her work didn't just keep her in Symkaria, it took her to the lively streets of New York City, where she first met Spider-Man. Their first meeting was during a frenzied hunt for the jewel thief known only as Black Fox. So Spider-Man got involved and managed to get the stolen gems back, but the burglar was able to get away. That really shaped how Silver and the web-slinger interacted, sometimes teaming up, other times butting heads, all depending on the day. When Hydra attacked her cousin's school and killed her friends, she didn't hesitate to jump in and try to save the day. She had her soldiers by her side, and even though she likes to think she can do it all on her own, Spider-Man lent a hand too. Throughout the years, she's teamed up with some pretty cool heroes like Punisher, Daredevil, Captain America, Deadpool, and even Venom. Her story took an unexpected turn during the Infinity War. At a diplomatic dinner in Dr. Doom's castle, where Symkaria and Latveria were supposed to break bread, Silver stumbled upon a shocking secret. Doom had been swapped out for a wicked doppelganger. The night went from zero to horror real quick, as the night descended into bloodshed. Silver had a close call with the doppelganger, but cleverly slipped away with the support of her soldiers. How is she the third Silver Sable? Silver Sable is not the only fierce leader of the Wild Pack. She's also the third generation in her family to take on this title. Who knew being a badass was hereditary? First, we had Ernst Sablinova, the OG Silver Sable. Ernst started the Wild Pack to track down Nazi war criminals after World War II, a mission that hit close to home and was tied to Symkaria's battles during the war. As Silver Sable I, Ernst truly embraced the role, charging headfirst with guts and a fiercer resolve to deliver justice to those who thought they could evade it. But Ernst wasn't on this mission by himself. Fritz Sablinova, Ernst's brother and the second Silver Sable, teamed up with Ernst, frequently stepping in as his body double. Silver Sablinova, the third in the line as Silver Sable, took on this exciting legacy, following the deaths of both Ernst and Fritz. But she wasn't just stepping into her dad's shoes, but was all about giving it a fresh spin. While Ernst and Fritz were all for Nazi hunting, Silver took the Wild Pack in a different direction, tackling a wider array of global challenges. From delivering top-notch security services to recovering stolen treasures and catching international villains, all while navigating a world filled with superpowered chaos. What does Silver Sable look like? Silver Sable's look is as bold and straightforward as she is. No fluff, just fierce. Equipped and prepared for action, she looks every bit the seasoned mercenary that she is. With her striking silver white hair and a bit of it sweeping over one eye, she's a sight you can't miss. She usually wears her hair sleekly groomed so that it falls just below her shoulders. Her piercing blue eyes are as frosty and strategic as her battle-ready attitude, making it feel like they can see right through you. She's got a lean, athletic build shaped by years of tough training, and a powerful presence that doesn't need any flashy theatrics to steal the show. Silver's famous ensemble perfectly captures her as both a commanding leader and a fierce warrior. Her signature form-fitting silver bodysuit isn't just a sleek fashion statement, it's a Kevlar-lined synthetic stretch fabric created for combat that's as practical as it is commanding. It's crafted for peak agility in the heat of battle and decked out with some slick tactical upgrades. When the pressure's on, she won't have to waste time ducking bullets because this outfit can cushion the impact of a .45 caliber bullet. She's all about that efficient life, and it's crystal clear. Her black boots and utility belts really amp up the whole professional mercenary who means business vibe. Her arsenal is always within arm's reach, featuring her iconic 2 gray firearms that sit snugly at her waist, along with swords that are just as integral to her style as her uniform. What really steals the show about her appearance, though, is the confidence she exudes. Sharp and spot on, her appearance is a flawless reflection of her no-nonsense approach and eagerness to tackle any challenge that comes her way, with a promise that she can deliver. How did Silver Sable get her silver hair? As a young child, Silver Sable witnessed her mother's tragic death in a Nazi terrorist attack. The experience was so traumatic that it caused her hair to turn permanently gray. The incident emotionally affected her in a big way. Cradling her mother's dead body, Silver vowed in her heart that she would never again allow herself to be vulnerable. She discovered how to tuck away her feelings, and replaced her sorrow with an unwavering determination. That day was not only a turning point, rather, it was the moment that launched her life on an unstoppable adventure which she could never turn back from. Silver threw herself into her father's mission of hunting down Nazis, as well as assuming control of the Wild Pack, and developing it into a global force that would be under the control of Sable International. She transformed her pain into a purpose. Her motivation, which came from a desire for justice and a personal loss, shaped her into the strong, resolute leader we admire today. What are Silver Sable's physical abilities? Silver Sable is the type of fighter that has even the toughest superheroes wondering if they should just sit this one out. She's been training since she was a kid, getting ready for the day she'd step up and lead the Wild Pack. With the help of some of the best warriors out there, she sharpened her skills to perfection. Silver is a natural leader and skilled in martial arts. She's remarkable in sword fighting and an expert marksman. She could likely hit bullseyes even when she sleeps. Spider-Man has actually said that her combat skills are so amazing that she could be the best pure fighter he's ever met. Definitely not the kind of person you'd want to annoy. While having no superpowers of her own, all that Silver has accomplished, every win, every takedown, comes from her grit, determination, and non-stop training. She really shows what it means to have both physical and mental discipline. Her agility, speed, and reflexes are on par with Spider-Man's superhuman abilities. And FYI, she's managed to take him down twice in their fights. Yes, twice. There's more to Silver's arsenal than her abilities. She has a high-tech body armor suit, an extensive arsenal of weapons, and a plethora of weaponry backed by her company, Silver Sable International. On top of that, she speaks an impressive 8 languages: French, German, Italian, Japanese, Russian, Somali, Symkarian, and English, making her incredibly adaptable and a lethal weapon. To put it simply, she's like a whirlwind of chaos just waiting to happen. But chic. The fact that she seems ageless is another topic that fans speculate on. Some parts of Silver's timeline don't seem to fit, especially since her father started the Wild Pack after World War II. Some believe that, like Nick Fury or Black Widow, she may be aided by biological enhancements. Regardless of the truth behind it, one thing is certain: Silver Sable is operating at the highest level of human capacity, both physically and mentally. But obviously, Silver Sable is only a human, and not bulletproof. Being human means that, just like everyone else, she needs to keep an eye out for herself. Bullets or knives are always a threat, and Silver could be outmatched against a powerful opponent. But what really makes her unique, though, is her invincible will that allows her to easily fight against any telepath that may attempt to mess with her mind. Great combatant, a strategic genius who doesn't need superpowers to take charge on the battlefield. Well, Silver Sable really has it all. Does Silver Sable use any special gadgets or equipment? Silver Sable's arsenal is as dazzling as her combat skills. And with Sable International in her corner, she's always armed with the latest and greatest tech. Her arsenal consists of a derringer, a katana, and her very own custom chai, which are projectile daggers. When the mission demands a softer touch, she uses a stun gun, making sure her targets are brought to justice. And let's not forget her iconic twin handguns, which she uses with pinpoint accuracy when fighting. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. For close quarters combat, Silver has red electric bolts ready to incapacitate her foes, custom-made guns, and her trusty sword within arm's reach. If the situation calls for it, she can pick up just about any weapon out there, which definitely gives her an advantage no matter what she faces. To make her grand entrance or a swift escape, Silver Sable has a high-tech jet at her disposal. Armed with energy-powered guns and some really cool stealth tech, she can practically vanish into thin air, sneaking past foes or launching a surprise attack on them. With her high-tech toys and her killer skills, Silver Sable is basically a one-woman horror show for anyone who crosses her path. How does Silver Sable gain superpowers? In the comic Venom War: Lethal Protectors, Silver Sable gets superpowers that draw her right into the messy world of the symbiotes. On a mission, Silver crosses paths with Venom and ends up with a little symbiote infection to remember him by. A little but powerful symbiote fragment temporarily attached itself to her and gave her superhuman skills. Thanks to the symbiote's touch, Silver's already remarkable physical abilities skyrocketed, as her strength, agility, and reflexes significantly enhanced. The symbiote also gave some regenerative abilities that helped her recover from wounds somewhat more rapidly than normal. Basically, it made her an even tougher opponent. However, the symbiote was very unpredictable, and Sable struggled to keep it under control. She pushed back against its aggressive side while figuring out how to use its powers. This inner tug-of-war put her through the ringer mentally, and tested her focus and willpower like never before. Even though the symbiote didn't stick around for long, the short stint she had with its powers highlighted her resilience and resolve. Did Silver Sable fake her death once? Demonstrating her unwavering loyalty in the Ends of the Earth plot, Silver Sable teamed up with Spider-Man and defeated Dr. Octopus and his Sinister Six. But there was a price to pay for her commitment. During a face-off with the Rhino, she was trapped in an undersea base that was sinking, completely pinned down. She made the ultimate decision and knew the stakes were much higher than her own life, pleading with Spider-Man to abandon her and save the planet. When the base went down, everyone thought Silver had gone down with Rhino. However, Silver isn't the type to give up that easily. Turns out she managed to escape, narrowly avoiding that huge explosion, thanks to the stealth technology in her outfit. However, the blast severely injured her, so the escape wasn't without its consequences. The Foreigner, her ex-husband, came to her rescue, guaranteeing that she would live to fight another day. In Amazing Spider-Man 2018, issue number 32, it was revealed that as Silver recovered from her injuries in secret, she swapped herself out for a life model decoy that maintained appearances. Silver Sable, the master strategist, always has a strategy up her sleeve. How was Silver Sable's relationship with her ex-husband? Silver Sable and the Foreigner have had one of the most tumultuous love-hate relationships in Marvel history. After getting married, their relationship has changed, or perhaps taken a turn into a strange game of cat and mouse. Everything fell apart when Silver found out her husband was the one who had killed her Uncle Fritz. That kind of news can really put a damper on the happily ever after, you know? What came next was a never-ending loop of tension, revenge, and oddly enough, a bit of respect. Rather than going for a straight kill, their attacks have turned into a friendly duel of skills instead of a battle for survival. It's definitely a bit chaotic. They're two people who obviously want to be together, but at the same time, they can't stand each other. Neither is really in a rush to call it quits, because why bother trying to defeat the other when you can just keep going? Silver Sable as a team player. Silver Sable comes from Symkaria, a tiny Balkan nation that was devastated by the horrors of World War II. Her father, Ernst, established the Wild Pack, a crew focused on getting rid of enemy threats in Symkaria. As Silver grew older, she showed that she was a strong enough leader to succeed her father as the new leader of the team. Under her leadership, the Wild Pack transformed from a Nazi-hunting crew into a mercenary enterprise, expanding to tackle more lucrative contracts. But Silver really stuck to her high standards. She'd happily reorganize the group if they failed to meet her expectations, a tactic that occasionally transformed old pals into fierce rivals. Silver is resolute, forceful, and very focused, and has a confidence that sometimes could come across as arrogance. She doesn't hold back when it comes to pointing out when her team falls short of her expectations. Her strong determination to get the job done has sometimes put her team in tricky situations, but she has no qualms. However, underneath that tough exterior, there's a genuine sense of empathy and a strong dedication to her people. Even if she doesn't let it show on the surface, Silver is personally invested in Symkaria's ongoing turmoil. She's a fierce protector of her team and her turf, and this has won her their allegiance. Rather than relying solely on discipline, she really understands people. She may be short-tempered and doesn't have much tolerance for errors, but she understands that someone's past doesn't have to shape their future. She's the first to provide a second opportunity to everybody she meets who's talented and ready to mend their ways. From personal experience, she knows that reformed felons, working hard for a second chance, may make exceptional agents. At her core, Silver Sable has a sharp sense of efficiency, with a subtle touch of compassion. She's really passionate about her mission, but she always remembers the people she's doing it for, even if she tends to keep her feelings to herself. Silver Sable in other media. Silver Sable has really made a name for herself in various Spider-Man animated series and video games. Her first appearance was in the 1994 Spider-Man animated series, then again in 2002's Spider-Man: The New Animated Series, followed by 2008's The Spectacular Spider-Man, and most recently in 2017's Spider-Man. In The Spectacular Spider-Man, they gave her story a fun twist by making her the daughter of New York crime boss Silvermane, which really added an interesting criminal underworld angle to her backstory. Silver Sable has been a familiar face in the gaming world, especially in Marvel and Spider-Man games. She's been in Ultimate Spider-Man, Spider-Man Battle for New York, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, and Punisher: No Mercy. One of her most memorable gaming moments definitely comes from Insomniac's Spider-Man. In this story, she plays a major role as the antagonist, heading up her mercenary team for Mayor Norman Osborn with the goal of safeguarding Manhattan and taking down Spider-Man no matter what. Even though Silver Sable has been around in other media for a while, she still hasn't made her live-action debut in a Marvel movie. That nearly shifted with Sony's plans for Silver and Black, a movie that was set to team up Silver Sable with Black Cat. So this project was to be directed by Gina Prince Bythewood, and part of Sony's Spider-Man universe, which started with Venom back in 2018. They imagined it as a more mature, independent story that wouldn't actually cross over other MCU movies, despite sharing a universe with them. Production was to begin in March 2018, but the film was shelved indefinitely due to production delays and screenplay difficulties. Later, Sony announced plans to make separate feature films for Silver Sable and Black Cat, but it looks like those plans are off the table for now. Even though we're not sure what's next for her in live action, Silver Sable's impressive track record in animation and video games indicates she's a promising character. Fans are really hoping it won't be long before she makes her big screen debut. Marvelous verdict. Even though Marvel has a lengthy history of anti-heroes, Silver Sable is special. She's living proof that who needs superpowers when you've got intelligence, strength, and a bank account that could likely finance an Avengers mission or two. What makes her character so interesting is the way she manages to make the most ruthless choices while still staying true to her moral compass. She's not your typical shiny hero, but she's also not your stereotypical evil either. The gray areas, on the other hand, well, that's her forte. In a universe filled to the brim with gods and monsters, Silver proves that it's the humans who run the world. And come on, isn't that a teeny bit satisfying? Let's be real, she's a breath of fresh air in a world that can sometimes get a tad too crowded with capes and one-liners. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.